Color Me Bloody MMA podcast featuring Mike Turpin and Alex Perry.
Well, you know your mind is aching, child. You know just what to do.
All right. Welcome back. If you tuned in last week, we missed you because we weren't there. Welcome back to the first episode of Color Me Bloody MMA podcast in a little while. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Turpin. Next to me in studio, a.k.a. my bedroom, I have my pal, Alex Perry. Alex, what up?
Oh, shit. What's happening, dog? It's been a long time.
Yeah, man. It's good to be back, man. It's good to be back. Lots of MMA stuff has happened since we last talked to you all. Hopefully we get some new listeners for this one. I'm feeling like if, first episode in a little while, we're really going to push the promo. So if it's your first time listening, cool. We like MMA. And
This is going to be big news. Our comeback?
yeah, that's big. This will be like
Long-awaited.
front pages sure dog, man.
Yeah.
Watch out. MMA Underground. What's up, guys? Missed you. Yeah, so we'll talk about stuff about me and you later if you want. But for now, let's just get into MMA. We haven't talked in a little while. We haven't talked since before I went to Portland. There we go. I said we weren't going to talk about personal stuff. And that was when the Machida-Weidman fight went on.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead. All right, here's the thing. There's no fights immediately coming up. We can talk about the main event of the next card. We can talk about some smaller org stuff, but I think we should mainly stay UFC today.
Yep.
And cover the big stuff. Talk about some big fights that have been announced, some big main events coming up, and a couple fights that happen, especially the title fights. So right now,
I think when we stopped, the first big thing that happened was Dillashaw beating Barao.
No, we didn't. We talked about leading up to that fight. We never recapped that fight.
That's what I mean. Like, that's the first one. Big,
that we
big one
haven't
that
talked
happened
about.
that we haven't talked about. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And damn, man, that was so long ago.
Yeah, a lot of shit's gone down. We can just go over, like, literally the main event for every UFC card that's happened.
We'll
Not go
see.
over it,
Yeah.
but just mention what happened. And
All
be
right.
like, whoa.
Yeah, well, these people have been keeping up with MMA the whole time, so we don't, All right,
Maybe.
Barao versus Dillashaw. Let's just look at this card for a second here. That was the card where Daniel Cormier, Robbie Lawler beat Jake Ellenberger, which he's fought since then. So Jake Ellenberger, he pretty much done from being in any title
Needs
picture,
to
right?
keep seeing his sports psychologist. That dude does not fight like he used to.
No, I don't know
Tentative
what's
as
up,
shit.
man. I don't know. I don't know. But I'll tell you this. This was one of the most impressive fights and we will talk about this later when we get to future fights. Daniel Cormier versus Dan Henderson.
Yeah.
Now, we probably both thought that Cormier was going to be easily the better wrestler.
I did. I didn't think he was going to toss some, up into the air and shit, but
Yeah.
I did think he was going to be the better wrestler and striker, just overall complete fighter at the end of the day. Totally impressive, like what he was able to do to Dan. A little bit overhyped in the media a little bit and by some fans, I think, as well, like at the same time, just because Dan's totally on the downslope and just the size difference there. I mean, it looked like he was fighting a little boy. Like, I mean, Daniel Cormier is humongous.
Well, we've talked about it before. I've said since the beginning, Dan Henderson, for having Olympic credentials, does not seem to translate to MMA wrestling that well. I don't know if he stops training it as much, or we know he's relied on his right hand a lot. But even before then, this is a guy who, when he grapples, like when he was grappling with Rampage held his own. That says pretty much right there. And that was Dan at his best. Would you agree?
Yeah. I mean, Rampage can wrestle a little bit, but really on paper, Dan Henderson should have been able to just dominate him.
Absolutely. In every aspect of that ground game. Should be a lot better. This is a guy who spent so much time and effort to being one of the best wrestlers in the world at one point in time. So you would think, I figured Daniel Cormier would do what he did as far as getting a victory and being the better wrestler, but I didn't think it was going to be as extreme.
No.
So
It reminded me of when he threw Josh Barnett up in the air.
Yeah. Can we agree that Daniel Cormier is the best wrestler in MMA?
Yeah. If he isn't, then he's top 3, but I think he's the best.
Who else would be there other than Kane?
other than Kane.
I mean, you know what? Well, we got Ben Askren.
Ben Askren's awfully good.
Ben Askren, Cain Velasquez, and Daniel Cormier are top 3, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But Daniel Cormier does something that Cain Velasquez at least does not, and that is his ability to control a guy and kind of stay on him and keep position seems to be a little bit better than Kane, who I've always said gets a little over aggressive and sometimes loses position or tries to advance, and then the guy gets out and scrambles and gives a little bit of space. It's all because he's so aggressive. You know, I was out eating the other day and they were playing UFC. What's that thing where they replay old fights? What's the thing on like?
Oh, it used to be on Spike all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I know, on Unleashed.
Unleashed. So they were playing Unleashed, and it was the God, who the hell was he fighting? It was that fight.
Cormier?
No. Cain Velasquez.
Okay.
Ben Rothwell. So he's fighting Ben Rothwell, and it's like, it's weird, man. He's so aggressive and loses position so easily sometimes, or he's just like gets a little sloppy and lets the guy get up and like kind of walk up the cage, or it's weird how much trouble he has staying on a guy and dominating him. And I think it's by choice. Like if you told him you have to take this guy down and not let him get up for the whole round, he'd do just fine. But Daniel Cormier is a little bit smarter with his wrestling, I think.
Yeah.
So both of them very similar. Obviously, they train together. I'd like to see some good video of them actually really going at it in the gym. Doesn't matter now if they're different weight classes, but you're definitely looking at Daniel Cormier being the best wrestler in his division. We'll talk about him versus Jones in a little bit. TJ Dillashaw versus Renan Barão. What are your thoughts there?
It was just shocking. I had Barão pegged as a top 3 pound for pound guy and just one of the most complete, dangerous, and scary dudes out there in MMA. And Dillashaw, I mean, I thought I knew what I was getting with Dillashaw. Came off the Ultimate Fighter, looked like a decent dude. Got knocked out, obviously, by Dotson. And ever since then, he's looked well. His kickboxing's obviously gotten leaps and bounds better with Dwayne Ludwig. He was always a decent submission guy and wrestler in general. Mm-hmm. But I didn't think if you would have told me TJ Dillashaw would have been a champion, a year prior, it would have been one of the craziest things you could have told me.
Yeah. And TJ Dillashaw is definitely Ludwig's like prize. Like that.
For sure.
That's his main guy.
Yeah,
and
they're
been
boys.
his main guy. They are like best friends through,
boys.
TJ looks up to Dwayne more than any of the other alpha male guys did at that time.
Yeah.
And
TJ's going to come out to Denver where Dwayne's new training center is and, during camps and whatnot.
Exactly.
But man, TJ Dillashaw looks so good. Rocked him, I think, in that first round.
It was hard to say what made the difference other than TJ was just better. He was quicker. You know what it kind of reminded me of? Remember Frankie Edgar, BJ Penn? Like how Frankie was just better. Like, I don't mean the recent one. I mean, like, when they the first couple times they matched up, especially that second fight, Frankie was quicker. He was the better wrestler. He was the better, everything. He hit more effectively, better combos, everything much faster though.
Yeah. Watching TJ Dillashaw fight now is, pretty special. The guy just moves so well and he hits you from angles that a lot of guys just can't deal with, namely Renan Barão. But I don't know, man. Dwayne Ludwig just transformed the guy. Now,
my question is, and we can talk about this now since we're talking about this fight, how do you see a rematch going? I mean, they're fighting again. What do you think about a rematch being immediate?
I didn't like it in this case.
It reminds me of the BJ Penn, Frankie Edgar immediate rematch, except TJ Dillashaw actually finished Renan Barão.
I think
I didn't care for
some guys in most people's minds who deserve that, who maybe should have that immediate rematch clause or something if they're a champion, like a John Jones. Obviously, it happened with Anderson Silva, a GSP type figure. But I don't think Renan Barão necessarily was in that conversation.
See, I think he is because of his record.
I mean, his record's
but
crazy.
Not because of his not because of his kind of status among MMA fans that are in the mainstream.
And that's because he's a bantamweight. I mean, he's in a lower weight class.
It's a newer weight class to the UFC.
Yeah.
Now, guys who have been around, guys who have done, like Uriah Faber, if he was in Renan Barão's situation, then of course Uriah would get an immediate.
He'd get it no
rematch.
problem because they just want pay-per-view buys there.
Yeah, so I don't even know if it matters so much for pay-per-view buys, but TJ Dillashaw's not a name yet. Renan Barão's kind of a name in mainstream MMA, but probably a little less than Demetrius Johnson, a little bit less.
And here's the other problem. If this didn't go down, Dillashaw was going to be facing who? A Sun Sal?
Yeah.
Next.
No, you're right.
I mean,
But
that's tough
a
to
rematch.
sell. Yeah. And he beat Dillashaw.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of people
arguably.
thought, arguably, but that's a tough
got
one
the
to sell.
Yeah, okay, so
It was shocking.
now do you see it going much differently?
I don't think he's going to be as dominant, but I think he'll still get the win just based off what we saw last time. I mean, man, he's just a new guy.
Renan's going to have to come out very aggressive, in my opinion, and really try and just connect and land some power.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have to try and...
He is. There's two X factors for me.
Overwhelming.
What you're talking about right there, if he comes out there like Mike Tyson and just ridiculous and tries to hit some big shot and hurt him early, or, and this is less likely, him and his camp were talking about, I think he got dropped with a big right hand. Was that in the very first round or the second? It was early on in the fight.
I don't remember.
And they're talking as if that changed the tides, and Renan did not know where he was ever since that happened. He thought it was the third round when they were going into the fifth, so on and so on.
Yeah,
But okay, so what are you really trying to say? I mean, he still landed a punch that hurt you and made you feel that way. Like,
yeah, exactly.
What's your
And
point?
You weren't looking that great leading up till then.
No.
It's not like the Anderson Silva Weidman one where you were dominating and then got knocked out, or I mean, no, it's not like that. It's not even like a come from behind win at all.
And sometimes these Brazilian guys in camps, I mean, I hate to say it, but they come up with weird excuses sometimes.
Oh, dude, exactly.
They just do.
Even like the Nogueira brothers and stuff do it all the time. And
Yeah.
it gets annoying after a while.
I
Vanderlei,
hope there's some truth to it, just because I want to see a great fight between these guys on, at the highest level on the top of both their games. But
Yeah.
Dillashaw looked incredible. I mean, it was great.
I said leading up to that fight that Barão was my pick for number one pound for pound at the time.
I mean,
But,
man.
I mean, God, he probably dropped.
We were both pretty high on
8
Barão.
spots.
We were like,
Yeah.
oh, he's a beast. Oh.
And it's not because he lost; it's the way that he lost. He just got
Yep.
beat everywhere.
It's not like he got Dillashaw hurt him and took his back and got a rear naked choke in the first round or something. He beat the shit out of him for 5 rounds and then finished him in the
better
fifth.
everywhere. Yep. So TJ Dillashaw, probably one of the most unexpected champs in a long, long time.
But if he fights like that, could be one of the most dominant ones here.
Absolutely. If you're that much better than the guy who was that dominant, who knows? But okay. Then we got real quick. TJ Dillashaw lost in the Ultimate Fighter. He got beat by I forget who. I want to say
By John Dodson, who's a flyweight now.
And how did he lose that fight?
He got knocked out.
Okay, so there we go. That's the thing. That's the X factor, in my opinion. A guy's been knocked out. The guy's been knocked out. So we'll see what happens, but that's always got to be in the back of your mind, just like it was in the back of our mind for every GSP fight that he never lost after that, but we always thought about it.
Barão has the power to do it. Dillashaw has the chin that's susceptible to it. I don't think
Exactly.
there's any question about that. I think it's just whether it's the movement game. It's the movement, the angles, and the footwork. I mean, Dillashaw.
But now that we know Barão can be rocked, it's not as much of an X factor. Whereas before, it's like I always use that example of Forrest Griffin versus Rampage Jackson of a fight where all Rampage needed to do was come forward and be aggressive, and he would never lose that fight because Forrest isn't going to knock Rampage out, but Rampage is going to knock Forrest out. But Renan Barão doesn't quite have that going on because he can get rocked by Dillashaw. It'd be different if it's like, well, Barão's not going to get knocked out. His chin's great, so he should just bum rush him and just take 10 shots to give 4 and get the knockout.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the case here. So his aggression might even hurt him if Dillashaw, catches him. So
Do you got Dillashaw winning again?
I have to say yes. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't go against that. It would shock me a little bit if Barão came out and was better than Dillashaw. All right, I'll say this. It wouldn't shock me if Barão knocked Dillashaw out or caught him in a submission, but it would shock me if he dominated Dillashaw, like was just better, like in the way that Dillashaw was better than Barão, like the way we thought the first fight was going to go down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would shock me.
So maybe let's just overview some stuff that's happened ever
Yeah.
since then so we can get up to speed. I just
okay.
wanted to talk about that one a little more in depth because it was so shocking.
Yeah, we
and-
can skip a couple of these. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Important
Important to note that
Johnson.
that fight night down there where Munoz fought Musasi, I think just important to note that Musasi looks so good now that he's about to fight Jacare.
Yeah.
Ben Henderson getting his first finish in the UFC against Khabibulov, that happened.
Yeah.
He looked good. UFC 174 was a little lackluster. People
Absolutely.
were walking out of the arena during the Mighty Mouse title defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
And Bagayutinov popped for EPO
Yeah.
after the fight.
Okay, so
And then that Auckland, New Zealand card happened. Tehuna versus Marquardt.
Uh-huh.
That was a fun card, man.
that was a great card.
One of my favorites so far this year.
Yeah, Marquardt got the win pretty
Hit that
pretty
arm
quickly there.
spin up under him and hit the armbar.
Mm-hmm.
That was sick.
Let's keep scrolling.
And then we watched that next one together at the bar. It wasn't that great of a card, Swanson Stevens, but that was a good fight. We were just, I think, kind of burned out from all the shitty fights that happened before that. But I rewatched it and it was good.
Was it?
Yeah.
We were just burnt out.
Yeah, Swanson
All right.
Stevens was good.
I can't believe you mustered up the energy to rewatch it after we didn't think it was good.
I know, I was bored. Just, I don't know. Someone broke it down and I was like, oh, okay, I'll check it out.
Let's go ahead and talk about this, though. Weidman Machida. We don't have to
Okay.
talk about it at length, but basically, people who don't know, Machida, my favorite fighter since who knows when, I thought he was going to be able to pull this off, but again, this has happened before with a lot of other guys in this situation where it's a weird moment where you win potentially the last, at least round, right? But 2 rounds, right? I mean, most people.
I only had him win in the 4th, if I got to be honest.
Okay, he finished the 5th really strong.
He finishes strong, but I don't think it was enough to take that round. Like, that flurry at the end was great. I just don't think it was enough.
Well, either way, a guy who's doing just as well, if not better, in the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, and it was the only times he was aggressive. I mean, Machida is just, it's painful sometimes to watch him because you know how talented he is, but he's at his best when he's a back foot counter fighter.
Yeah.
I mean, he just is. But when he's aggressive, man, puts those crazy Karate Street Fighter Ultra combos on you. Mm-hmm. He can hurt anyone, and he was hurting Weidman. I mean, Weidman had heart, and he was saying, "Come on, bring it on." But you know, some of those shots got to him, and he was getting tagged. But it was too little, too late, man. And or he was too tentative through those first 3 rounds, and Weidman was controlling the center of the cage. He was walking him down, throwing shots, not really getting hurt by much. He was winning in the clinch, so on and so forth. And, just a bad game plan, I guess, from Machida, but I wish he was more aggressive. Of course, you don't want to see him get knocked out for being over-aggressive, but what are you going to do? You got to try and win the fight.
I know. It's so frustrating because that is a guy who could potentially beat Weidman.
Yeah.
Like, you saw in moments where Machida was doing significantly better than Weidman. And it's just a matter of executing that and taking advantage of that more frequently earlier in the fight. But God, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to be a big fan and see that. But Weidman impressed me. And
Weidman's the real deal, man. I mean, if people are still doubting him and talking shit because of the Anderson fights, at this point, they're just ultra Anderson fans, Brazilian fans, whatever, or they're just haters, or they don't want to accept Chris Weidman. But he's obviously the real deal.
yeah, now how do you see? All right, so let's talk Weidman for a minute. You know what? Let's break that down. And anything we don't break down, I know we said we'll save the Daniel Cormier stuff for later, but let's just go ahead and talk Weidman for now. Like, he's got Vitor Belfort coming up.
Yep.
And he's the pretty heavy favorite.
Yep.
Vitor's your favorite fighter.
He is.
Do you see Vitor having much of a chance?
Not outside of the, what
Random
we say
knockout.
about him every time. That early knockout, Vitor Blitz, flurry, whatever you want to call it. Outside of that, no. I think he's going to get beaten mentally and on the ground.
Yeah,
I think Weidman's going to finish him on the ground with like TKO style, probably around the 3rd round.
I pretty much agree. I think that's almost a lock. I'm going to go with that.
Sucks to say. I mean, I like Vitor Belfort. He's one of my favorites. He got me into the sport. I've talked about this ad nauseum, but the guy, I love his career resurgence. It's great. But who knows how much of that was fueled by the supplements and whatnot. But dude, you can't deny he's a hard worker.
Even if TRT Belfort came out, I would have the same opinion I have now.
I would too. I think there would be more of a chance of him getting the early knockout.
Exactly.
But I think it would be the same outcome at the end of the day. Yeah, Vitor's...
I don't see Weidman not being able to take Vitor down.
Right. No, he'll be able to.
Yeah, so that's my big...
Those first 2 minutes will be like hairy because Vitor's just going to be fresh. He's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
But
Weidman, that's the only thing. Here's the thing. Vitor has to plan for so much. He has to plan for the fact that Weidman might actually do better on the feet if he doesn't get the knockout early. Yeah. Like Weidman just did better on the feet against Machida in a good bit of the fight, and arguably he was doing really, really well against Anderson in the second fight.
He's aggressive, man. He just keeps coming.
Yeah.
And he's powerful.
He's quick. He's good, man. He's
good.
He doesn't have to worry about the takedown. Vitor does, which makes a lot of that matchup makes a lot of good strikers or great strikers get outstruck by good strikers.
Yeah.
Because that takedown X factor. I'm worrying about the takedown.
And
it's
when
the Cain Velasquez Junior Dos Santos matchup. Look, if those two were kickboxing, I would imagine Junior would win, right?
Yeah.
But the X factor is the fact that Junior is worried about the takedown.
Yeah. Or being pressed up against the cage and getting the crap beat out of him.
Exactly. You're right. Another aspect. And that's a huge part of Weidman's game. Is there anybody in the division right now that you see being better than Weidman? And
I don't know.
anyone?
I think a fight with Rockhold's interesting.
I do. I've said that too. Because I say, who's the better grappler? We don't really know, right?
Probably
Weidman.
It would be close. I'd give Weidman the slight edge, but Rockhold can hold his own, man. He is good.
Rockhold has some pretty good reach on the feet, and he's looked really good in the striking.
Yeah, he's a bit. I mean, they're both huge middleweights. That's a good fight.
Yeah. Now I'd say Rockhold is like a better version of like a Tim Kennedy. Like he probably has better jiu-jitsu, a little bit better striking. So it's hard to say that Tim Kennedy would have any more of a chance. So I don't really consider Tim Kennedy that much.
No. I say I want to see fights with Rockhold and Jacare.
Yeah, and Jacare's the other one, man. Let's see if he gets past Mousasi.
I think he beats Jacare in a similar way that he'll beat Belfort. I mean, to be honest, Jacare is always dangerous. He's got the world-class jiu-jitsu, but I think he just gets broken down, drug into deep waters. And
well, I see that fight staying on the feet if it's going well.
Yeah, I think he gets Jacare tired and then takes him down late.
Yeah, he could get him tired and then keep it on the feet though and do better. It doesn't matter. Once Jacare's tired, it's over. Mm-hmm. I mean, he might not want to take him down and run the chances. If you're a better striker and you don't feel threatened, why take the guy down and give him that, like, sometimes you see when guys who are great in jiu-jitsu get taken down, they go from being tired to like, oh my God, it's my opportunity. It's my only chance. And they start getting crazy aggressive on the ground.
Yeah.
If it's going well, why change it? And if Weidman's doing better on the feet, that's a fight that could definitely stay on the feet because Weidman doesn't want it to go to the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, pretty much. I don't see much changing with Weidman. I mean, there's always the chance that Anderson Silva makes a resurgence and gets a rematch and pulls it off. There's always that chance because you can't count him out. But outside of Machida, who just lost, who's probably not going to get an opportunity again for a while, Rockhold's the only one I see, who actually has a chance of being better. That's it.
Yeah. That would be a great fight.
Yeah, now we had, let's talk about the Cerrone Miller fight.
Yeah, we're skipping over Edgar Penn 3 just because there's not much to talk about there.
No.
Penn shouldn't have taken the fight, and they wasted a year of Frankie's career doing the show and waiting for this fight.
Exactly.
And it's annoying.
It's annoying. But, oh well, it may, you know what? Here's the reason why it's not annoying. More people are Frankie Edgar fans now, and Frankie Edgar is a bigger name than he was and will have a better chance of getting a title shot, which I think if anyone deserved an immediate rematch, it was Frankie Edgar when he moved down. I know he had gotten all these like rematch title shots and stuff, but that dude has never really lost a title shot handily.
No, he's never gotten the doors blown off. I mean,
he's barely lost. It's been like arguable decisions. I'm not saying he got robbed by Aldo because I do think that's a situation where Frankie won the last 2 rounds though.
It's a situation where he probably could have won the fight if it was like no
10
time limit.
Yeah, 10 rounds. No,
10
he was
rounds.
never going to lose another round after that. That's a fact.
No, he was coming on, man. It's just early those first 2 rounds he was getting lit up. I mean,
And
he
Benson
couldn't deal with the
Henderson,
speed.
He, you know, those.
He won the second fight.
I agree. So I feel bad, but hopefully this really helps Edgar be a fight or 2 away from being a potential champ, which I do believe he will be. I am still on the Frankie Edgar bandwagon, and I do think
he's a great
he
fighter.
will beat. I do think he'll beat Jose Aldo if he gets the opportunity. Yeah, that finale was weird. Lima, who was kind of hyped, got knocked out by that Eddie guy. I think it was Eddie Gordon or something.
Eddie Truck.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
that one douche got beat.
Matt Van Buren.
Yeah, I didn't mind him, but he was a little bit of a douche.
What was his nickname?
I don't even know.
I called him something stupid.
It was stupid.
I didn't like that guy.
He's an idiot. Who beat him? See, I forget now. Don't even know.
I don't know. He got knocked out, so that's good.
Yeah. Let me click it. Let's click it. I wasn't going to do it, and you made me do it. This is because of you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, Corey Anderson, who was a really good wrestler who did not throw kicks in the one fight.
Doesn't have that much experience, that guy.
No. Remember the fight that Corey Anderson had? Where Eddie Gordon and Corey Anderson had pretty similar fights for the record. But Corey Anderson was in that fight to get into the finale where the guy got tired and he would not throw a head kick. It was that sloppy wrestler, and he would not throw a head kick, and he could have all day.
Were you talking about on the show?
You didn't watch it.
Hell no.
Okay, well, I did. Moving on, Cerrone Miller.
Yeah, good card.
Yeah, man. That was
2 good
great.
cards in a row here. This one, the Ireland one.
Yeah. Are we getting close to current? We're getting close to current.
We're getting
time.
close.
We're getting close to present day. Sorry, guys. Tune in next week for current
Yeah.
MMA news.
Man.
Doesn't matter. Fortunately, there's not a ton to talk about, except for stuff that's way out that we can talk about any week.
So Cerrone blasts Jim Miller with a head kick.
Yeah.
When that guy, he's just got to get going. After
Yeah.
that feeling out process, you better watch your P's and Q's,
hey,
man.
real
Cerrone's coming.
Real quick, in case you're curious, I'm drinking this Voss water. It is artisan. If you hear a noise, by the way, also, wouldn't that be funny? I talk about drinking water and then you can hear the shower in the background. I'm like, wow, he's really drinking.
They won't be able to hear that.
Maybe they will. I don't know. If you hear a noise, it's because my roommate just turned on the
I'm
shower.
peeing in the corner.
No, it's because if you hear a noise, it's because I am pouring Voss water all over my body. With
I
the
came in
shower.
and he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm drinking this like totally purified water. I got it as a gift. Like, what does artisan water mean?
Yeah, I didn't know. Well, it's
like artisan bread.
artisan water from Norway. I don't know what that means, but I got it. But you know what you didn't. The whole point is, you know what you forgot to mention, and we will get back real quick to this. What do I always drink?
You mean like Coke Zero?
I'm done.
Oh, that's big news.
3 days before I went to Portland, so this is like pretty much July 1st, I cut out all aspartame except for gum, so all Crystal Light and diet soda, and I when I did it, I had no idea that I was addicted to caffeine. No clue. So I stopped drinking Coke Zero, and I was drinking. I mean, dude, I drink a lot, right? I mean, you see me down 2 liter in an event, right?
Yeah, you've come over for a fight to my house and you bring a friggin' 2 liter and the
it's
thing's
gone.
gone halfway through the event.
It is gone. 100% of the time gone.
You just drink straight from the bottle. I'm like,
So like I
this
was
guy.
buying these 1.25 liters and I was drinking one on the way to work in the morning and then one on the way home from work. Because I like staying hydrated, and it does hydrate you. For those of you who don't think it does, it honestly does. But there's a lot of aspartame, and I'm not going to get into why that's bad. I mean, I don't think it's that bad to do in moderation. But if anybody was going to get any of the negative effects of aspartame, it's this dude right here. If someone was dying from cancer, it was going to be me. Like, that's a fact. I realized, though, also, I was drinking probably anywhere from 450 to 650 milligrams of caffeine a day just in Coke Zero and Cherry Coke Zero or whatever diet soda I was drinking. And I also realized that it was like an IV drip. Like I was getting it from the time I woke up until the time I went to bed. And this goes back years, and it's slowly built up to where I would drink more soda than I would drink like Crystal Light, which doesn't have caffeine. So dude, I was getting caffeine in my system regularly, almost every hour or 2 hours, more of it, from the time I woke up until the time I went to bed. I had the worst headaches in my life. Like, it was the worst feeling ever for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
I think I was still feeling effects the first day in Portland, but it wasn't that bad.
Worse than heroin, dude.
Worse than when I kicked heroin.
Yeah.
They say it's bad. They say it's really similar to nicotine addiction.
Yeah.
You know, so
That
that's what they say.
sucks.
They say caffeine is very similar. I mean, I'm not saying that it's as hard to kick as cigarettes. I'm sure there's other stuff in cigarettes that, you know, when you're putting all that chemical in your body every, 20 to fucking 30, 40 times a day, you, like with cigarettes, it's probably a lot harder, but
Do you drink coffee?
no, I'm done caffeine.
Okay, cool.
I'm done caffeine.
I'm drinking a Red Bull right now. It's the first one I've had in a couple weeks.
I am literally not going to drink caffeine again. But on the weekends when I'm bad and eating, I've gotten regular like Sprites and stuff, which isn't good. But I'm trying to be done with that. This weekend, it's been all water. And
Good, man. You should. You'll feel better. I don't
just
drink
wanna
any
do
soda.
water. I just want to do water. Well, you're drinking Red Bull is kind of like soda.
No, but I mean, like I said, I haven't had a Red Bull in 2 weeks. I don't drink any
I get
conventional
what you're saying.
soda. I don't
Regular.
drink Coke. I don't drink Sprite, Mountain Dew, any of that stuff. None of it.
I'm done drinking. I'm trying to be done drinking anything like that. Even when I drink a Gatorade, I wish I was drinking water. Like,
Yeah.
I wish I could help myself from drinking the Gatorade. Or if I'm drinking like, and again, it's only been on the weekends. Weekdays, I have not had anything like juice. But on the weekends, it's tough. It's really hard for me to get used to drinking water at meals. It feels weird to me. I don't
Yeah,
like it.
you'll get used to it. That's what I do, man. I just drink water and green tea. That's it.
It washes the taste of the food out of your mouth. Like, you're eating good food and then you drink water and it's like, nothing's here. I don't know. It's just me. Let's get back to this, though. Update, guys. Side note. Yeah, Donald Cerrone, better than Jim Miller. Jim Miller, again, one of those guys. The times of talking about Jim Miller and spending time talking about him are over, and the time of talking about Donald Cerrone is only getting bigger.
Yeah, he keeps looking better.
Yeah, man.
You know?
He went from being very inconsistent to being great. He remember when he head kick knocked out a guy on a boat? Did you ever hear that story?
Yeah, I did.
That's wild.
I believe it.
So he's got more head kick knockouts than on paper.
What's so
in the amount of
impressive is
time.
when he does it, it's so nonchalant, just casual. He just lifts his leg up in the air, his shin cracks a dude in the head, and he kind of just like lightly puts his foot back down. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
that big of a deal.
All right, now
His
question.
technique's so good.
Is he going to be on his way to be a title contender soon?
I think so.
Is he going to make it? Is he going to get a title shot?
Not
you
if he
think?
has to fight Khabib Nurmagomedov, but anyone else, he has a chance.
Yeah, 4-fight win streak. Evan Dunham, Adriano Martins, Edson Barboza, Jim Miller.
All
4
finishes.
finishes.
All emphatic finishes.
Yeah, 2 head kicks, a rear naked choke, and a triangle choke. So
He lost to Dos Anjos, and that was the inconsistency of Cerrone we saw in the past, where he shows up to a fight and the dude just does not get going.
Dos Anjos might be the real deal, though.
I don't know about the real deal. He's okay. He loses,
We'll see what happens when he
Against
fights
top-tier guys.
Benson Henderson. I mean, well, look at his. I just brought it up. So
his record's great.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's won 6 of his last 7, and his loss is against Khabib. So, there's another dude who's one of the best wrestlers in MMA. Khabib Nurmagomedov.
He's great, man. With his sambo and his wrestling as it translates to MMA, it's perfect.
Yeah. So,
Yo Romero's another one.
okay. So, yeah, let's move on from this card.
Well, we don't move on
Edson-
quite yet. My man Edson Barboza got over in TKO, and it was like a phantom kick to the body.
God, man, Evan Dunham had so much potential and looked so great when he was early on. I bought the Evan Dunham hype when he first came onto the scene. I was so into
I know,
Evan Dunham.
and now he just looks slow and
Bad.
not impressive. Remember
Yeah.
when he beat the crap out of Sean Shirk? That was awesome.
Yeah, I do. I remember that. I mean, he lost that fight, but
Ugh, no, he didn't.
he arguably won. I mean,
Yeah.
how was he not choking out Sean Shirk?
I know, Sean just, hey, it's that muscle shark neck, man. He just flexed his neck, and
Yeah.
actually, that would make it worse, probably, because the arteries would be closer.
Yeah.
But-
John Lineker won again. Cool. He's going to be, If he can just stay in cardio shape and stay lighter, I think he's gonna get better and better. But he didn't look that great to me.
Nah. Gleison Tebow beat Pat Healy, and they cut Pat Healy.
Yeah.
Which is fine. He looks like shit.
Since he came over to the UFC.
Oh, man. So bad.
Joe Proctor, I like Joe Proctor. That was cool.
Dude, that chick Leslie Smith, she beat Jessamine Duke, and it was like a sick combo to finish the fight with power and speed. It looked good.
Jessamine looked bad.
Jessamine sucks. They won't cut her just because the division's so thin. But.
And she's kind of has like a following. Like she has a pretty strong
Dude, it's
fan
because
base.
she's in that stupid 4 horsewomen thing, and she's Ronda Rousey's buddy. They live together. So Ronda Rousey probably puts in the good word for her and shit.
She was just a fan favorite, though, when she was on the show. People liked her.
She had that
She's
sick
just
fight
country
with
girl.
Raquel.
Yeah, she's just one of those country girls, and people like her, and but whatever.
She sucks.
All right, so we're getting pretty up to speed now. McGregor beat Brandao.
Yeah. I don't think it's the fight where you should be going, yeah, he's ready for the title shot. It was certainly impressive. McGregor has pretty sick boxing technique, good movement. He's quick. His takedown defense has gotten better, submission savviness. More importantly, on the defensive side, he's a good fighter. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, they're overhyping him because of his personality and his ability to sell.
Exactly.
But the guy is a good fighter. I have him winning in a decision against Poirier.
I don't know how to pick that fight, man.
It's
right
tough.
on the line.
It's tough.
But I do think he's going to edge it out.
He's going to edge it out because of Poirier's holes in his boxing defense. I think that's what it's going to come down to.
Well, that's going to be a good test for both fighters.
Yeah,
so,
it's a great, perfect fight.
His buddy Gunnar Nelson looked good.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite prospects, man. Up and coming guy.
Yeah, I like him more than McGregor.
He's awesome. You probably like him because of the way he moves in the stand up, right? You like that karate style?
I like it. It's cool. It's different. Yeah.
Open karate style. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. He darts in and out. He's got that good straight left or no straight right. He's not a southpaw. The way he took that back though, finished that fight, it was pretty sick. Zach Cummings is a decent fighter.
I know. And Ian McCall got a win. The guy that had that fight against Mighty Mouse where, he looked great. And since then, he's been a little back and forth. Guy has some he's a little bit of a head case. I don't like him.
I enjoy watching him fight, but he's kind of a douche.
Yeah, man.
Kind of a douche.
Total idiot. I heard him
My
on
douche alert goes
Joe
off.
Rogan thing. Heard him on on his podcast, and I've heard him in other interviews.
He's got hang-ups. He likes to talk about how he used to get into street fights all the time growing up. And, I think he's got a little bit of Napoleon complex mixed with some other issues. Who knows, man? The guy, not my cup of tea.
No, I don't like him. So
Nah.
I don't hope the best for him. But
Norman,
he's a guy
dude. How about Alir Latifi, man? Getting that.
Go. I'm a
He's
Latifi fan.
one of those guys who started off as like a joke. You know what I mean?
It was a total joke.
He's not a joke anymore.
No, man.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
His last 2 finishes have been like brutal. He almost rips Diabate's head off.
I love this dude.
And did you see the leg kick he threw on this Chris Dempsey guy? The guy just flew across the way like, whoa, did you just throw a sledgehammer at my leg?
Yeah.
And then he finished him easily against the cage. That guy's a beast.
Dude's a beast. Already has a fight lined up too, so that's cool in October against somebody that I'm not really familiar with. So whatever.
Yeah, but that was a fun card. It was cool to see all the Irish fans. Pretty sweet.
Yeah. Cool. Then let's go ahead and talk about Lawler Brown for a second.
This was the last UFC event to happen. So
Yeah. I've been watching, man, you gotta come. I've been watching him at the Green Turtle in
White Marsh.
in White Marsh pretty regularly, and like Steph comes out after she gets off work.
Yeah, you told me.
And I've been watching them all there. So if you're ever in that area and you want to come out watching with me, do it.
Right.
It's cool, man, because we're the only people there watching them, and it's free, and it's I'm like, this is pretty badass. It's like might as well be watching them at my house.
Well, that's the way I
get
want to
good
do
food.
it if I'm going to be at a bar.
Yeah, like it's not like Buffalo Wild Wings.
Otherwise,
where
it's
jam-packed.
distracting or it's annoying.
No, dude, you're just sitting there watching it, and it's super easy. The
That's good.
only thing they don't do is turn the sound on, which is a little annoying.
But that's okay.
It's cool.
It depends on who's commentating.
I like hearing Joe Rogan, though.
I like hearing Rogan. That's fine. I don't like hearing John Anik.
No. Kenny's okay, but...
I like how did you notice how they switched it up? I don't know which events it was. I think it was the last one where they had 2 in the same day, but they switched up the teams, man. They had Brian Stan with John Anik, and John Anik was actually like, I could listen to him without wanting to,
I like Stan.
rip my ears off. Yeah, Brian Stan's pretty good, and then they put Kenny Florian with Goldberg, which was interesting. Wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
I can deal with Brian. Here's the thing. I can deal with Brian Stan easier than Kenny Florian, but I think Kenny Florian has a little bit more to bring to the table. Mm-hmm. But I could be wrong. Brian's pretty smart too.
He is a smart guy. I underestimated him early on.
Yeah, me too. I know. Very good.
I like him. He's a level-headed dude.
Yeah, I heard some weird things about him, like people who met him who were overseas, like, and he went over and like trained with like the troops or something, and some people didn't like him, like 2 guys I knew, but you know what? Who cares? Everyone has something bad to say about a celebrity they met for 1 second, so. Everybody has a person out there who's like, oh, that guy's a dick. I went to talk to him and he told me he was busy eating with his kid, or, I mean, who knows what
I'm sure
happened.
you've heard about, people saying that they don't like me. And check me out, man. I'm kick-ass.
Everybody, man. Everybody. When I was in Portland, I was talking about Calling Me Bloody, and they were like, you host with Alex? Ugh. What's that guy like in person? Now, I had a buddy of mine meet him and went to sign his autograph, and it was like $50.
He signed it with his dick.
He only wanted to sign his girlfriend's tits. What's up with that Alex guy?
Oh, you know what was depressing on this card, this Fox card?
Tell me. Anthony Johnson?
Patrick Cummins beating Kyle Kingsbury.
Oh, yeah.
And getting like 10 5 rounds.
Dude, another guy. Kyle Kingsbury should have just stayed retired. It looked like his last getting...
He retired again?
I'm sure.
Yeah, he did.
Patrick Cummins signed his retirement. He put his resignation in.
What a terrible fight to take. Couldn't be any worse of a matchup.
But Patrick Cummins is really proven to be not the joke. He's like he's like the bad Iler Latifi. Like he's the Iler Latifi that everyone hates. Like, he got this
two, that's exactly what I was talking about. Like they started out as a joke and now they're actually kind of good.
I know.
It's just because look at their debut fights. Gegard Mousasi and Daniel Cormier.
I would say Cummins has more potential than Latifi.
I'd say so too, yeah. He showed his gas tank, man, because he kept his volume up, beating the crap out of Kyle Kingsbury, and he kept his cardio.
Latifi could drop a weight class. He's too short, I think.
Yeah, I mean, God, he's so muscular.
But, okay.
Did you watch the Crookshank fight?
I did. Crookshank, our boy.
He dropped him.
I know, and then it went downhill. But I was so excited when that happened. I did not think that was going to happen.
Me too. Because he was one of my counter move picks. Oh, plug.
Bobby Green beating Josh Thompson was
annoying because all he did was talk the whole time. Like it was like every punch that was thrown, he would point at his shoulder, he would shake his head, or he'd be like, "No, dog, you ain't hit me, dog." It's like, shut up.
That's your Josh Thompson impersonation? No. Yeah, I really like Josh Thompson. I felt really bad that he got robbed. Absolutely robbed.
Do you think it was absolutely robbed? I think it was...
No, not in this fight. In his last fight.
Oh, sorry.
Before that.
Yeah, you're right. He did.
Against Benson.
This fight, I didn't feel too bad about it.
No, I thought Bobby won. I know it was a split decision, and I read the Sherdog thing, and everybody had Thompson won. I thought Bobby Green won.
I had Thompson, but might be a little bit of bias there. I don't know. I'd have to watch it again.
Yeah.
I had him winning live, but I don't think it was a robbery. But
no.
I do think when he lost to Benson... Bit of a robbery.
I might have missed something, but I thought Bobby Green won. I thought he had 2 rounds pretty easily, but I
it's whatever. Wrong. We'll see. They already lined up Bobby Green with George Masvidal, Jorge, whatever. Mm-hmm. So that's a decent fight. We'll see. I don't know what Josh Thompson's going to do.
It's George, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it depends on if they're
right or
if
wrong.
They speak
it
Portuguese
depends if they're right or wrong.
They speak Portuguese or Spanish, right?
If it's right. If they're right, it's George. If they're wrong, it's Jorge.
Because you know how it's Jose Aldo and not Jose Aldo.
I know what you mean, man.
Because he's from Brazil. They don't do the soft J or whatever.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm just saying. I've always heard George Masvidal.
You're probably right.
Yeah. Yeah. Dennis Bermudez.
Choke Clay Guida.
Yep. Look good.
Clay's funny, man. He got the shit choked out of him.
Looking like a beast. Oh, what? And then what?
And then he just like bounced up and started doing laps around the cage after he got choked out.
He's weird, dude.
He's so weird.
Him and Josh Thompson are 2 guys that don't seem to care about winning or losing. Remember when Thompson was losing? He always was so happy and excited to be fighting that he didn't care if he lost. Thompson has a history of losing fights that he should win. Remember he went to Japan and fought when he was like he had the Gilbert Melendez fights and he went to Japan to fight and got beat. Remember that? I'll bring it up. Bring it up. Let's do some Josh Thompson history. He'll probably never get a. All right, so looking back, looking back, he had his, it was K1 Dynamite 2010, Kawajiri. He got beat pretty handily.
Nice.
3-round decision. And that was, like I said.
Oh, I didn't know he
Japan.
went out there.
Yeah. So, and that was his loss between the two Gilbert Melendez fights. Comes over, beats Nate Diaz in great fashion, beats Benson Henderson, but loses a decision, and now loses another fight. And even though it was a split decision, not gonna be able to climb his way back up, I don't think.
Yep.
But
This was our newest segment, a blast from Josh Thompson's past.
I know.
Josh Thompson fact of the week.
How about this?
Hey, man, but I feel bad for Dennis Bermudez. They need to start talking about him. He's on like an 8-fight win streak. Come on.
Yeah, and that fight where he beat
I know he doesn't talk much, but that's
Jimmy
fucking lame.
Hedges was woo.
Beat those shit out of him.
Okay, Anthony Johnson versus Rogerio Nogueira.
Wow.
You're looking at the other guy who could beat Anthony. I mean, you're looking at the other guy who could beat John Jones. Antonio Rogerio Nogueira looked no. You're looking at the other guy who could.
Did
beat
they
John
press
Jones.
charges on Anthony Johnson after that shit?
Oh my god!
What a murder!
Anthony Johnson was amazing.
Dude, those uppercuts when they showed it in slow motion, and if you saw it in high def, it was like kind of hard to watch.
Big Nog got knocked out.
Big Nog got knocked out. That's how bad it was.
He got knocked
He
out.
fell down. What happened?
Doesn't take much, but still. The win from Anthony Johnson's punches. Could the Nogueira brothers be any slower in their reaction times? And it is like so old
I didn't
school.
think Little Nog was as bad as Big Nog yet.
Ugh.
I mean, he is coming off that win from Rashad Evans. Who knows how that happened? But, man,
Dude,
this was bad.
they are so. It is weird when they're out there fighting a good striker.
Yeah, so Johnson's a beast. He just just corralled him against the cage and just threw these freaking King Kong punches at him and murdered him.
He would outstrike John Jones. I am telling you.
I think so.
Guarantee.
And his takedown defense is money.
Dude, it's really good. I'm not saying John Jones couldn't get it to the ground, but it is pretty good. The only way I see John Jones winning this fight is eye poking. No, keeping distance with his, whether it's an open hand or not, he'd have to use his reach advantage and that's it. Anthony Johnson has to be the better striker.
Yeah, he doesn't.
John Jones maybe win it in the clinch.
He doesn't have the variety, but
Or
I
keep a
think
distance.
he obviously has more power, and I think he's
quicker.
I think he'd be able to catch him.
He's more explosive. I don't know if he's like literally quicker in general, but he definitely has more speed behind the power punch.
Yeah, and he throws mad head kicks too.
Yeah, dude, he's a beast.
Ton of them. What do you do with the Nogueiras though? Do you give them both send-off fights? Because no one wants to see him fight like some schlubby number 15 ranked dude. I mean,
I don't know what you do with him,
but don't
dude.
put him up against a top guy
Can they
just
retire
because.
yet? I mean, come on, they're not. Let him go fight somewhere else.
Man,
Let him go fight in Japan.
both of those guys, their last fights have been absolutely brutal knockouts.
They're not quick enough, man. They don't see stuff coming. They're like punching bags out there. They both have knockout power.
I think you put them both
that's
on,
it.
put them both on the same card in Brazil for their last fights and give them someone who isn't, if they do beat them, who isn't going to make it look ugly.
Yeah.
You know how like they put Big Nog against Dave Herman? Give him someone like that. He might armbar him, or he might, get put to sleep. I don't know.
All right, in the main event, Robbie Lawler versus Matt Brown.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
This one was a victim of the hype. It got overhyped, so then some people were like, "Oh, the fight wasn't that great," but it was a good fight.
It was an all right fight. Yeah, it was good.
Matt Brown did okay, man. I'm really impressed when he gets in the clinch and starts throwing those elbows from all sorts of angles.
Yeah.
No one else really does that.
Robbie just did not want to get off here. Like, he did not want to just tee off.
He could have knocked him out in the first round.
I really think so.
He should have dug to the body more. If he was watching the Eric Silva fight,
exactly.
Matt Brown gets hurt to the body instantly, easy.
Matt Brown is not a durable guy. He's like a scrappy guy, but I really don't think he's that durable. He's fragile to me. His body is. I think Robbie could have came out really aggressive here and won it fairly easy.
Who knows what would happen if this was Robbie Lawler's debut fight in the UFC or something? It probably would have went differently. I think he was maybe holding back a little bit because of the situation he's in. He needs to get this win because he's got to stay. Yeah, look, he's getting the rematch now. He's next against Johnny.
Yep.
And I think he knew that beforehand, you know. But
how do you see that fight going?
I think Johnny wins it again.
Yeah, me too.
I think he wins it again.
Sucks,
he relies
though.
more on his wrestling this time, I think.
I just wish not every damn fight was a rematch coming up.
Yeah, it seems like it. It is. But you know what? You know how I look at that? I just want to see the top dudes fight the top dudes. I don't want to see too many rematches, but I'm not as pissed as I used to be when there is one. If it's justified, validated, cool, man. I'm still going to see a good fight.
Let the other guy, if he deserves a rematch and he's the best fighter to fight for the title, then let him go beat someone else in the meantime.
Yeah.
If he's not injured, give him a quick fight. But the champ should fight someone else too in the meantime. And if the champ is better than everyone else except for that guy,
Johnny,
and that contender is better than everyone else, then they'll fight again after they beat someone else.
I could see that too. In this situation, Johnny had a bicep injury. That's why he hasn't fought since then. So he's had an injury. He's just finishing. He's on the mend from it. And Robbie, I think he deserves it. I think it's fine. His career resurgence is crazy impressive. It's one of the best I've ever seen.
I don't feel bad. You know who I feel bad for in these situations? I feel bad for the champ. It's like, well, I mean, it just would suck to be somebody who's a really good champ, like I believe Johnny Hendricks is, to go out there and lose this fight and that be his thing. Like, well, I became champion because I beat Robbie Lawler, but then I lost to him, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like it counts, but
and before that, he lost that questionable decision to GSP.
Beat somebody else while you're the champ, and it just is. You're able to have at least a legacy as being a champ a little bit better.
Right, you have a legit title defense. At least
exactly.
one.
You have yeah, exactly, and it's not getting beat by the guy you beat.
He considers the Robbie Lawler fight a title defense because of the GSP kind of.
I know
debacle.
I know he does, and he will kind of have that for him.
He will.
But if Weidman would have lost in the rematch to Anderson Silva and stuff like that, it's like not saying he didn't deserve a rematch, but you get what I mean. If Dillashaw was to lose that Henan Barral match and never become a champ again, that would be mind-blowing. It like right now how you think of TJ Dillashaw, and if he loses that fight and never becomes champ again, it's like, man.
It's like what would have been if he didn't have to take that rematch.
I know.
Like,
I know, man. It's crazy. At least let him beat someone else.
Yeah.
But not that not that it matters a ton, but that's just my opinion on it. I mean, looking at this thing here, Dillashaw versus Barral too. It's going to eventually be Aldo versus Mendez too. Musasi versus Jacare too. I don't care about that. Silva versus Arlovsky too. I'm not worried about that, but it's like everything is like a damn rematch. I'm okay. I'll simmer down. I'll calm down.
We would be recapping UFC 176 right now.
Yeah.
But that was the second UFC pay-per-view in history that has been canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Not getting nearly as much flack from critics or media coverage in general as when UFC 151 got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because John Jones isn't at fault for it.
Yeah.
But no, we'd be talking about how Aldo knocked out Mendez again, probably.
Yeah, let me go ahead real quick in some upcoming stuff. I'm going to read some odds. This is our upcoming fight odds.
Yeah, there's some good stuff coming.
Ryan Bader is the slight favor over OSP. How do you feel about it? That fight is in 2 weeks.
I got OSP.
Me too. I think that's a bad odd. I would go Bader.
In fact, you should bet on that fight. People who bet on MMA.
Yeah, you should. I really do think so. You can get
that's a good value right there.
OSP at plus 143 on Sportbet. So
good
go
value.
for it. So that's
put
what I'm
a
thinking.
lot of money. I mean, a lot of money on it. I'm talking like $40.
Yeah. Gray Maynard makes his return. Don't care. Oh well, moving on. We got TJ Dillashaw, who is a slight favorite against Henan Barral. You can actually get TJ Dillashaw at minus 137, so you get a good chunk of what you put back in. I think the good bet there is TJ Dillashaw. I'm surprised it's that close.
Yeah, me too.
How about this? How about that fight? Huh? Talk about that for a second.
What, Cariazo Demetrius?
Yeah.
Shit, man.
Oh my God. You can get Demetrius Johnson at minus 1,441. Those are 14.5 to 1 odds.
The way UFC had a promotional thing and it was like 2 amazing title fight rematches. just some promotional video, and they were talking about the Barao Dillashaw fight and, at the time, John Jones, Alexander Gustafsson. And then they didn't even mention the Demetrius Johnson-Kariaze fight as another title fight that's on that card.
Yeah.
Because no one cares.
Okay.
But, yeah. What's the he's a minus what?
Minus, you can, it's sports INT, whatever that is.
What's the biggest one?
Minus 1441, dude. You put in $14, you win $1. Not even. You put in $14.41 and you win $1. You put in $100 and you're still only talking about winning like $6. Not even. I think it'd be less than $6, right?
Yeah.
Am I doing that right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's awful.
I feel bad for Mighty Mouse. The guy's so good. Gets no love out there.
It's insane. Nobody has
No
a
one
reason
gives
to
a shit.
bet Johnson. So the odds, in my opinion, can only go more close. So if you are wanting to bet for a heavy underdog, you can get Chris at plus 971 at Sportbet. So you can actually win almost $10 per $1. So put $10 down, you win 100 if he wins. UFC 178, good card. Daniel Cormier, John Jones. That line is almost even. You can get Daniel Cormier at plus 158. Where I'm getting a phone call. I wonder if this will be interesting. Will this be a phone to take on the air? Let me see.
If you can get out of your pocket.
Never mind.
It's his mom.
I'll call her back. Daniel Cormier plus 158. So you'd win $1.58 for every dollar that you put in. And so you're getting about, you can put in like 60 something bucks to win 100, something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's okay. I would, if I had to bet, I would go Cormier because I think he's going to win. Who do you think is going to win that fight?
I've been thinking about it more and more since it's become official. And I'm switching sides.
You going Jones?
Going Jones.
How? What way?
A decision.
How's
But
the
I
fight gonna go?
think he keeps Cormier off of him.
I
I think
can't-
he uses length, and I think he outstrikes him.
So Cormier won't be able to get inside and get the takedown.
Maybe he does at some point. I don't know what he'll do with
I'll
it.
tell you this right now. I will be shocked if John Jones wins a decision.
Yeah.
I see John Jones potentially finishing Cormier. I do not see this fight going a decision in Jones' favor, but I see what you're saying.
I don't know, man. This is just like a gut instinct type of thing.
Yeah.
I really don't have much behind
There's not
it.
a whole lot of like mental stuff going on in your guts, so not a lot of intelligence comes from that part of your body.
There's a clear gut-brain connection, man. Don't you read? Mm-hmm. No, shit. I don't know, man. It's
Conor
such
McGregor, Dustin Poirier is a pretty close.
Yep.
I mean, you could say if you have anything else to say about John Jones, Cormier, you can. I just think Cormier will be able to get the
we'll
takedown.
talk about it down the line.
Yeah.
It's a weird fight.
Cain Velasquez, Verdum. That's a fight that's going to happen after they do an Ultimate Fighter. That's not till November 15th. We're going to ride this all the way to the Super Bowl card, I think. There's only a couple more fights to talk about. But that fight, I mean, I've talked about it. I've said how Verdum could actually be a striking threat to Velasquez, and he's always a submission threat, so that fight's interesting. But generally speaking, you have to think Cain wins a decision if Verdum doesn't get a finish, Velasquez wins, right?
Yeah, Velasquez is just going to bulldog him in this one. He has to.
Yeah, but Velasquez could finish Verdum, but I mean, Verdum needs a finish. That's the only way he's going to win this fight.
Yeah.
Weidman, Belfort. You can get Weidman as good as minus 370. That's not great. You can get Belfort as good as plus 325. So put
It's
in
a decent play. Hey,
Yeah.
knockout, maybe.
Put in $100, you win $325. Anderson Silva, Nick Diaz. Bam! That's money right there. Not in the actual, no pun intended, because we're talking about betting odds.
So
wouldn't
who do
play
you go
these
with
odds.
here, man? You love these guys.
Oh man, I think Anderson Silva is way quicker.
He's going to whoop that ass.
Nick Diaz is going to have a lot of trouble hitting Anderson.
He's going to have trouble with those kicks, but it's like, I heard some rumor that Anderson's not throwing kicks yet.
Doesn't matter. Nick doesn't even check him.
No.
And also, he could throw like some head kicks and stuff or
Yeah.
something. Get some stuff in there.
He'll have a problem with the kicks. He'll have a problem with the straight punches and the counters. He's gonna have problems everywhere, man.
I think Anderson needs to play a smart fight here and kind of go in and out. Do a better version of what Carlos Condit did. Come in and out.
Yeah.
Try and land some jabs. Try and land some quick kicks, and not worry about trying to stay in the pocket and bang too long. I think he wins if they do that, but that's where Nick has a chance.
Imagine the taunting possibilities this fight holds.
Yeah, it's gonna be, dude. This is like, this is like one of my favorite fights ever. Period.
They're going to do it so
goes
much.
Past the first round.
They're going to taunt so much they're going to get confused and
This
switch
is my
roles.
only Anderson Silva fight I have ever said I hope it goes past the first round because I actually want to see someone make a fight of it. Like, I mean, not that I want Anderson Silva to beat everybody in the first round so handily, but I like seeing him totally dominate people, but I want this to be a fight. I want Anderson Silva to come out on top because I love Nick Diaz, but I really love Anderson Silva, and I really want that legacy fucking protected, man.
Nah, this is a good comeback fight for him. It's a tailor-made win, I think.
I think so too. I don't see how Anderson really loses unless he just stays in the pocket too long and gets caught. But even if he's in the pocket, that means he's attacking Nick.
Yeah.
And, I don't think Nick is as durable as everyone says. Like, I think he can take a little bit of punishment, but I don't think he's been dropped before. He's been rocked, and he's also been knocked out. So,
Dude, they're going to be taunting so much, they're going to get confused and switch roles.
yeah.
Like, Anderson's going to be like, what? 209, bitch? What?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, that won't
Nick will be like, that's my line, homie. Motherfucker, stock and slap. What?
What?
It's normal.
Nick will start, like, impersonating other people in the middle of the fight. He'll do other people's stances.
What? It's normal, homie.
Yeah.
Get the
It'd be
belch.
funny if Anderson mimicked his opponent as opposed to, like, remember when he mimicked other people against Damian Maia?
Yeah.
What if he mimicked his opponent? That'd be funny.
That'd be great. He'd be like a Tekken character or something.
Yeah. That used to sound like really cool ideas, but now I just want Anderson Silva to win. That's all I care about. Anthony Pettis versus Gilbert Malone. Oh yeah, that's so far away.
Yeah, they already have.
That's not even
They have Johnny Hendricks, Robbie Lawler listed here with no
Yeah.
line.
No, there is a line.
Oh, there's one?
Bet Online has it.
Sweet.
Yeah. Hendricks is a 2.5, 2-1 favorite. Anthony Pettis is a slight favorite over Gilbert Melendez. I could see playing Pettis there.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
a ton of good stuff coming up, man,
Yeah, man.
till the end of the year. Go back to Shirt Odds real quick.
Okay.
Just the list of events. Because there's a pretty sweet one on my birthday. Check out that September 5th.
Damn, UFC
Open 'em
Fight
up.
Night, Musasi versus Jacare 2.
Oh, yeah. Look at some of the fights on here.
That's your birthday.
Overeem and Rothwell. Look, Meathead and that crazy guy Derek Lewis. Michael Chiesa, Joe Lozon. What?
Damn, that's so good. John Moraga, Justin Scoggins, what?
Even shit like Rob
my
Font and
God.
Chris Beal, who people don't know
Nick
much
Lentz
about.
versus
It's a
Charles
good fight.
Oliveira. Yeah.
That's a rematch, too.
Yeah, man. Rodrigo Dam. Ally Quinta. That's the first fight, and that's actually a good fight. Ally Quinta against Rodrigo Dam.
Yeah.
Chris
Great.
Camozzi versus Natal.
I don't care about
Chris
that one.
Beal. Oh, well, who cares?
Everything else
why,
is
why am I even reading
really
everything on
good.
this card? We've reached the wrap of the MMA. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Quick update. How's jiu-jitsu?
It's okay.
Have you been able to train much with your new job?
Yeah, I've been going like at least twice a week.
Okay.
So that's
Still
fine.
a first like a one stripe blue belt or no or however it works.
Yeah, no, I'm just blue belt.
Cool.
So, no, yeah, it's fine. I still like it. You go through peaks and valleys, you know. You kind of get wore out on it, a little burnt out, but it's going fine. I'll always like it. I think have something to do with it. Yeah, man. What you been doing?
Yeah, man. Same. Been working a ton, man. Working so much during the week, and my weekends have just been random. Like I had my birthday weekend. I went away to Portland. Had a bunch of random stuff going on where it was just hard for me. I was in a rap battle.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's right. I did rap. I do rap battle now. I'm in a rap battle league. So, and I headlined a bunch of comedy
That
shows.
video's dropping.
August 20th.
Oh,
It's going to
shit.
drop. But I already have my round 1 and round 2 of my next battle.
Can we
August
release
23rd.
the result, or do you want that to?
I will tell you this. It goes to OT. And the other guy got really pissed at the end of the second round and stormed off because he said if he stayed any longer, he was going to knock me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he calmed down. See, what happened was his boy got put in the clink for doing some shit he didn't do. So release his boy, and that's what got him all
Did
fired
you say
up
something
and
about
heated.
his mama, dog?
Yeah, I know. It wasn't much what I said. He just got pissed. I think he got pissed more at himself too. Like he thought he had been battle rapping for like 4 years, and I had never done it before. And I took it like a joke, like as far as the way, and I didn't take it like a joke in my writing, but I acted like I was taking it like a joke. Like I made these silly videos leading up to it. And I think he thought he was just going to go in and 2-0 me real quick. But when it went to the overtime round, he wasn't real prepared, in overtime. And me personally, I messed up some. So it's a battle of who won it at less than the third round, but the first 2 rounds were really close and heated. So it was intense, man. Headlining some comedy shows. I still run the comedy shows regularly around here. Still with the same girl. I guess we're going to be at 6 months soon.
Whoa.
Yeah. Time flies, man.
Time flies.
Remember we were talking about that when it was happening, like the beginning stages of it?
Yep.
That's a long time ago.
The old ball and chain.
Yeah. So that's good. I don't know. Anything else?
Nah, man. I haven't been doing anything exciting. Just working, going to gym, trying to catch some of these fights. Mm-hmm. That's it, man. Nothing crazy. I'm going to get down to the beach probably one last time around my birthday. Mm-hmm. And that's about it.
Yeah, man. How about we end on, how about this? I'm writing rounds for a new, a new battle rap, and I will do a verse that I wrote. Is that cool? Let's do that. Let's end on that.
Okay.
All right, here we go. You ready? This is
Spit it, dog.
I'm actually going against 2 people, but this is just one that opens my round 2. And it's once you go black, you never go back. You smoke black cocks like you tote crack rocks, dreaming a shack as you spit gack into socks. Bam.
Man, I remember last time I spit gack into socks.
Yeah, man.
It was a bad night.
All right,
night.
cool. Thank you guys for listening. You can find us on Facebook, Color Me Bloody. MMA podcast is what it is, but it's like facebook.com/Color Me Bloody. You can find us on Twitter. It's at Color Me Bloody. iTunes, subscribe. We're going to try and be, I think we might be able to pull off being bi-weekly through the next, couple of months.
More like bisexual.
Yeah, I think I can pull off being bi-weekly if you can.
Yeah. I'm down.
That is very promising. I might not be able to do weekly, but we'll see how this goes, and you never know. I can't see why I won't be able to next weekend or the following weekend, so who knows? Maybe we can start doing it weekly again. My girlfriend works during the days, like Saturday evening and Sunday during the day, so I should be able to do it most Sundays around this time, like that we're recording. So I can't see why it wouldn't work. It's just hard for me to invest like 5 hours sometime to like recording, editing. If we do it over Skype, it's harder. So, it's, we'll see, but cool. All right. Tune in. Bye.
We're back, bitches.
Yeah. Don't call it a comeback. Yeah.
Or I'll come on your back.
Come on. Alex Perry. What up? Yeah. Later.